of course. I was thinking about that. Okay, I will begin the April 13th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the City of East Peoria, Illinois. We will now begin with the first item on the agenda is roll call.
Driscoll.
Here.
Whitman.
Here.
Sams.
Here.
Rieker.
Here.
Brashears.
Here.
Bruner.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. The next item is the approval of the minutes from the meeting held on March 9th, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any noes? Okay. Minutes are approved. Public hearings. Our first case then is case SU-2026-023, and that would be the petition of Rebecca Land of Day Spring Native American United Methodist Church for a special use to permit the keeping of bees on property located at 201 North Norwood Place, and that property ID number is 01-01-35-200-010. Would the petitioner approach the podium, please? We will move on.
Really?
If you were here then to speak on that case, you can stick around to see if the petitioner will show up. But if you don't want to wait, you don't have to. That's up to you, but we'll push that case back. Okay, the next case is case SU-2026-025, and that would be the petition of for a special use permit or a special use to permit the repair of vehicles on property located at 2337 Washington Road, property ID number 02-02-19-416-017. Would the petitioner approach the podium, please, and pronounce your name for me?
Hi, it's Faria, but I go by Ari.
Ari, okay.
Yep.
I didn't remember that from last time, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Ari, will you go ahead for me and raise your right hand, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Excellent. And go ahead then and tell the board what you'd like to do at that property.
So previously we obtained permits to get a dealership on that location, and now we're waiting to hear back about education with the dealership process. So we want to go ahead and also provide services on that location. General services like oil changes, brakes, exhaust, etc. for our customers there.
Questions for Ari? Tim?
Can you give us an idea for the record what the hours of operation would be for that part of the business?
Same as our other dealership hours, basically Monday through Friday. It's going to be around like 8 a.m. till 5-ish, 5:30. Yep. And then Saturdays are only for the dealership. On Saturdays, we won't do any maintenance.
Okay. I think that's really the only question that I had.
Okay.
Michael?
Yeah, are there any planned improvements for the property itself?
Can you repeat that?
Are there any planned improvements for the property itself, like landscaping or lighting?
Yes, because we did the dealership permit, we are planning to plant trees and bushes and stuff like that from previous. Yep.
Okay. So would that have to be resubmitted for this tie?
So we would take a look at that. I mean, that was, the recommendation was to make sure that got done, understanding that you haven't opened the dealership at this point.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can handle it based upon what was approved last time, or we can do something new for this. I mean, the special use offers that ability to provide a condition.
Okay. Perfect. That's all I have at this moment.
Okay. John?
No questions.
Joel?
Yeah, to kind of follow up on that question, what is essentially the planned opening of dealership versus services? Would the dealership come first, and what has the delay been?
So the delay is basically they didn't have any appointments for us to do the dealership education. We
Okay.
have to wait till September for our appointment time. So right now we're thinking maybe we can start with the services part and then open the dealership. I mean, right now our building is up to date. We've done all of the renovations that we needed, starting from electrical, plumbing. Everything was approved by all the inspectors that came. We did parking. The only thing is landscaping that we still have to do because of the weather. So that's the only thing that's left. And we just want to start with service then if we have to wait for another 5-6 months just for education.
So would you have any worries if we were to put a landscaping attachment to this special use, saying the landscaping must be done before services are started?
We have no problem with that, and we understand that if that's a requirement, that's okay by us to complete whenever date you guys see fit.
Yeah, okay, no problem. No further questions.
Okay,
Thank you.
Troy?
You're muted.
What's your expected capacity for the lot itself? I mean, it's kind of a small lot, but you're talking about making it a dealership, so what's the
Yes.
capacity?
So I think we got spots for about 45 spots for parking, just for the dealership cars, and then another couple just for parking for customers.
Okay, and
So-
are we expecting any of those to be there, like long-term service, like
No.
engine rebuild, where you got to pull them in and out?
No, it's
parts,
just
that kind of
general
stuff?
services.
Okay. So it
like-
shouldn't be anything non-operative sitting outside?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't
All right,
expect
I think
that.
that's all the questions I had.
Okay, George?
So the front of the building, you know, you've did all them bays closed off, but the end where you had the drive-through car wash, is that door ever going to open, or is that,
So it is, it's an air compressor door, so we can open and close it. Basically, that's where our lift is,
Okay.
so we can service our cars there. So it's a little bit higher up. That's why we put
Right,
our
okay,
lift there, so we
okay.
can actually lift the cars
Okay.
and service them. So we can open it. It's only open from the inside.
Okay.
It's not anything that anybody can just open and go
Okay.
through. Yep.
so all the service work are coming through the back garage doors that's there?
Yes.
Okay,
There's one on the front, one on the back, so it just depends on what we
Okay.
need at that point.
okay, that's all I have.
Okay, I think the only question I had, and Joel kind of pointed that out, you mentioned we gave you 45 spots last time, and I don't remember, but are you seeking any more cars on that property now that you're expanding your services?
So right now, we don't expect, but we can always reapply back if we were to need more parking spots. Right now, we don't expect to need any more than 45. I mean, we plan to start little with our dealership at first either way. So it just depends on how our business grows.
Okay. And then I think we've had some concern, and somebody also voiced it, just if something's going to sit there and it's not attractive because it's a service car and not a car for sale, can it be put into the back or,
Yes.
you know, okay.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, you wouldn't
Yeah.
want people to think that you're trying to
And
sell
either
it.
way, we have like 4 or 5 bays, kind of like where we can park stuff
Mm-hmm.
inside. So either way, there shouldn't be anything just sitting outside rotting for sure.
Okay, I think that's all I have, Ari, thank you.
Okay,
You can have a
thank you.
seat. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to make a comment on this particular case? Seeing no one, we will move on then to the next case. Do we want to go back? Might as well. Okay. No, we'll go back then to case SU-2026-023, and that would be the petition of Rebecca Land for the keeping of bees at 301 North Norwood Place. Would the petitioner approach the podium, please? It's 201. 201? 201, sorry. Yes, approach the podium. And will you raise your right hand, please? Oh, I'm sorry, will you go ahead and let us know your name?
My name is Beck Land, and I'm with Day Spring Native American United Methodist Church.
Perfect. Okay, Beck, will you raise your right hand for me, and do you swear to tell the truth?
Sure.
The whole truth and
Yes.
nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
Go ahead and explain to the board what you'd like to do.
Okay, what we would like to do is we would like to do some beekeeping, and my understanding is that we need a permit for that. So I contacted the office and started the process of that permit.
Okay, questions for Beck? Tim?
No questions.
Michael?
No questions.
No questions.
It's my understanding that this is for an educational purpose, is that correct?
It's for a lot of different things, yes, but educational will be one of them, and I was the first student, so it is awesome.
Very good. Okay, that's the only question I had.
Okay.
No questions.
I really don't have a question. I just want to let the people at home who's watching too, that you have quite a bit of property up there.
We have 43 acres.
Okay, there's 42 acres there.
42, okay.
And I've also talked to a beekeeper that I know, and I've
Okay.
asked him all about it and all that thing, you know, with the sports complex there
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And he says it'll work out great for it.
It really is a really
I just-
neat area.
yeah.
We have set it way back. She is what would your title be, like a beekeeper that's registered with the state of Illinois.
Okay.
She's the one who is guiding us through everything so that we are correct in every way that we go. It will be, I would say registered, is that the proper word?
You register with the, yeah.
State of-
Department Ag.
Okay, yes.
GPS coordinates for all the hives.
Yes, okay, yes. Yeah, so like I said, I talked to the beekeeper, and he says, no, it'll work out great there.
I think it's going to be
Yes.
wonderful, and it'll be wonderful for the land and all of, you know,
Yes,
the
yeah, that's what he said too,
pollination
yes.
that will take place.
Yes.
Just to restate that so that others can hear, so they said that it will be registered with the state of Illinois via GPS location, so Department of Ag.
Yes.
Did you get that, Terry? Okay. Okay, are you done?
Yes.
Okay. I have no questions for you, but I have been asked by one of your neighbors to read a statement or an email in favor of this, and so I would like to read an email from Clayton Mushan, and who's your neighbor at 201 North Norwood, or your neighbor,
Okay.
and next door at 201 North Norwood. And he says, "And as an adjacent landowner, I have no objections to, and I support the petition of the Native American United Methodist Church for a special use permit to keep, to keep bees located at 201 North Norwood." And that would be the neighbor. So I have
Very
nothing
nice.
further.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Beck? Okay, you can have a seat.
All right, thank you much.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the zoning board on this particular case? Okay, seeing no one, we will move on. Okay. The next case is the petition, case R 2026-006. That's the petitioner Brian Anderson to rezone property from R2 One Family Dwelling District to B2 Business District General Retail located on the corner of Pinecrest and Cimarron. That property ID number is 05-05-10-202-005. You must be Brian.
I am Brian Anderson.
Okay, Brian, will you please raise your right hand for me, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead and explain what you want to do.
So I don't know what materials you have as attachments. I checked this morning and I tried to look at the attachments that I submitted and I couldn't find any. So I don't know if that means you've gotten the attachments or they got lost somewhere, but I resubmitted, I think, the two crucial documents, which is the plan that I have so far, and then this document that I was going to read, and it's got a QR code for the website.
So for the zoning board's consideration, the consideration is for rezoning to B2, and they have to look at all potential uses. So the request here isn't specific necessarily to your proposed project. They have to look at all the potential uses that could go onto that site based upon that zoning. So really the suggestion here, the recommendation here is to look at rezoning to B2. And that's, at this point, that's as far as they can
Okay,
go with the
so-
consideration.
Let me read what I prepared, and then maybe you won't have any questions. My name is Brian Anderson. I'm a longtime Tazewell County resident and a local business owner. I'm requesting a zoning change for the property at the corner of Cimarron and Pinecrest to allow small, low-impact professional workspace with limited EV charging. This property is uniquely positioned. It's less than a minute from the interstate and already surrounded by a mix of commercial and industrial uses. Because of that, it naturally lends itself to business use that is compatible with the area. The intent here is not high traffic or retail activity, but a quiet, office-like environment with minimal impact, something that fits well between residential and existing commercial uses nearby. My goal is to develop the property thoughtfully and respectfully in a way that reflects both the location and the community. I believe this is a responsible and appropriate use for this specific property, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Brian? Tim?
No questions.
Michael?
No questions.
John?
No questions.
Joel?
The only question that I did have was this is your second time coming before the board. Have you looked at any other locations for this project?
I currently can't look at any other locations.
Okay, thank you.
Troy?
I don't think I have any other questions.
George?
Well, the only question I see is, so we got this neighborhood here. We got houses behind you. You got house to the right, house to the left, and we're going to allow a business in between them. I don't think that's really a good thing. I mean, like if you was on farther to the right side where that open field is, because that is being developed as, you know, commercial space. I'm just not okay with you building a thing like that in between the houses and the houses behind you. That's,
Okay, I understand. I guess I would say that just behind them is a large sports complex that attracts quite a bit of traffic, and then also there's a church that attracts quite a bit of traffic on Sundays. And then, of course, right across the road from them is LS Building Supplies. So
right.
It's
But it's not only that, but you could put this up and then turn around and sell it, and then the next owner has this
Understood.
open book on what he can put there, since it's zoned that way already. And we got residents on both sides and behind you. And I realize the sports complex, that's on the back side of all that, but this is right there on the main drag, and I have a real issue with that. Just my personal view.
Okay. I have no questions. You can go ahead and have a seat. Thanks, Brian. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the zoning board on this particular case? Seeing no one, we will move on. This is case SU-2026-027, and it is the petition of Moshe Kahan for special use to permit, nice, bear with me, to permit multifamily in R5 Senior Living Facilities District located at 500 Centennial Drive, 01-01-23-200-025. Would the petitioner approach the podium, please? And will you state your name for me?
Good evening. Actually, my name is Joseph Panerel. I'm the architect of the firm.
Can you spell your last name for
Panerel.
Teresa, or for Terry?
Paneral.
Okay, and will you raise your right hand for me, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, proceed.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me the chance to address you. Again, I'm Joseph Panerel. I'm the head architect of design and development at H&A Properties. We're based out of South Bend, Indiana. And we'd like to develop 500 Centennial into multifamily dwelling units at market rate. We're looking to convert into 246 units. There also is a high-rise building there. I don't know if everyone's familiar with this. This has been before the board once before. We're looking to develop the 6-story portion of the building. The single-story building, which was long-term health care, is going to be a future development phase, which we're not intending to do any work on right now. Our goal right now is to use the existing units that are available and the existing parking spots and open the building up as soon as possible. We'd like to, again, keep the mix of a studio, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units that are there right now.
Questions for Joseph? Tim?
I have no questions.
Michael?
No questions.
John?
No questions.
Joel?
I believe it's stated in here, but can you talk a little bit through your current timeline?
Right now, we'd like to open this up as many units as we can for the fall, for the college right there, so we can get student housing applied there. Right now, we estimate 18 to 24 months to get it fully stabilized property there, because we've got, some of the units are in great disrepair, others are ready to move in. So right now, we're going to try to help hit the fall college season.
Oh, okay. So to clarify, there are certain apartments that you're going to try to have open this fall?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
There are some that are, again, the building wasn't that long ago, it was occupied, so there are some units that are ready to move in today. There are other ones that they were doing a full development on and renovation, so they were stripped down to the bone. So there's some of those, so we've got quite a mix of units that we have to work with.
And I know it's also stated in here about some common areas, some common amenities, excuse me.
Yeah.
When would the completion of those be?
Those would be in the first year to year and a half. We're going to try to get some common spaces in there, a little cafe, a rest area, a study area. Each floor does have a little, what I call a lounge at the intersection of the elevator core. So we're trying to get we'll open those as we get the floors done.
Okay. No further questions.
You are aware of the parking issue and concern with the building, correct?
Yes, we are.
And so I see your first phase is to open almost a little over 200 and something apartments, right?
We'd like to
Read
get
that.
approval for 246 units, but right now we're going to have 190 parking spots, and then we're going to open 190 units. And at that point, we're going to have another meeting with the building departments and the zoning group about expansion.
The requirement's a space and a half per unit, so you would only legally be allowed to open 127.
Correct. Right now, the way we've got it organized is that at about roughly 60% occupancy, we're going to engage the development department again and start looking at the alternatives for increasing the parking.
Okay. I guess that would be my only concern, and my recommendation would be that we have to stick to the parking limits on the property. So that would allow you to do your 127 apartments in your first phase until you answer the concern with the parking. So that's all I have.
Okay.
Troy just took care of the questions I had about the parking spots. It's like,
Okay. Yeah, parking is a challenge there, and we're trying to, and we also anticipate that some of the units are going to be car-free with the, with the students there. Not everyone will have to have a car to live there. So right now, we're basically a block right there from the university, of the college, and we have a bus line right there, so we see a lot of flexibility there.
one more on the parking.
Yeah.
So the parking that you're counting, 190,
Yes.
does that include what you're cutting out in the back to put more spots in?
No, right now,
That's what's there?
That's what's there right now. To get this
Okay.
open as quickly as possible, we expect about an investment of about $6 million, so we're trying to get it
Right,
open as quickly
okay.
as we can with existing conditions.
Okay, because I know at one time you talked about cutting out that one area.
Right, there's a
putting
great
parking in there.
courtyard area in the back.
Yes.
We hope for a future
Okay.
development as an amenity rather than parking. So as we get further along, we're going to look at all our
Okay.
options for parking. But that is a great point.
Okay,
We're
thank
trying
you.
to keep that as an amenity for the building rather than making more parking.
Okay, so as I understood, you said some of the apartments or units won't necessarily need a parking spot because, they're going to walk everywhere or take the bus or whatever. However, I think what we're saying is regardless of whether a renter needs a parking spot or not, the 1.5 spots per unit will need to be adhered to.
Understood.
Okay. So who is your target market then besides students that are going to ICC?
Student, this is market rate housing, workforce housing, so anyone who's basically in that range.
Okay, so kind of the under 65?
Yeah, right now that's who we're looking at.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you, Joseph. You can
All right.
have a seat.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the zoning board on this particular case? Seeing no one? Okay, we will go to the last case of the evening, and that's case SU-2026-028, and that would be the petition of Katrina Crumley and Catherine Lowe for a special use to permit a third accessory structure on property located at 1007 Springfield Road, property ID 05-05-04-106-004. Hi. Can
Hi.
you state your name for me?
Katarina Crumley?
Katarina Crumley,
Yeah.
okay? And Katarina, will you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, go ahead.
So we're requesting to put a secondary shed on our property. My brother unexpectedly moved in, and he had a 3-bedroom house. So we're trying to find a place to put all of his furniture and everything like that. And currently, some of that is residing on our front porch, and that's kind of unseemly. And we would like to put it in a designated space in our backyard so that we can kind of get that away from the front property. It's considered special use just because we have a garage already, but it's a residential structure as well. So it's not, like, there's no storage use out of that. So a second shed structure is what we needed.
Okay, questions for Katarina? Tim?
I just want to confirm that I think that in the packet we got, like, there's a red box here that indicates the location of where the shed will be in the backyard on, I don't know what directional side that is. Are you familiar with this, where the placement will be?
Yes, it should be structured right next to the already existing
Okay.
shed. When we first applied for the permit, like the actual permit, not the special use, they did tell us it needed to be 5 feet away from the property line.
Yep.
So that's why we decided on next to the other shed would be more preferable.
Okay, yeah, and then it looks like you're going to be well off the setback on the rear portion of the property, so as long as it's the 5-foot setback on the side part of the property, you should be good to go.
Okay.
Michael?
No questions.
John?
No questions.
Joel?
No questions.
Troy?
No questions.
I have no questions.
Or Troy? Or George?
Just tear it down and build one big one.
Did you say you're going to use the shed for furniture?
Yeah, so my brother did move from a 3-bedroom apartment, so he brought all of his furniture with, and it was already a packed house beforehand with the baby and all of her toys. She's turning 4 here soon, so Power Wheels are in the future, and those things take up a lot of space. So when his furniture is not going to be there, Power Wheels, what is it called? The riding lawnmower and the weed eaters and stuff would go in there instead.
Okay, so how long do you expect to use this for the furniture?
For the furniture itself, I'm hoping he's out within the next 6 months, but with the housing market as
Sure.
it is and everything like that, you never can get like a direct deadline. So.
I think I was just more going down the thought that if it's a shed that's not climate controlled and you're putting in furniture and stuff in there, it's going to, it's going to be exposed to dry rot and the heat and the elements, even though it's in an enclosed building. And so I didn't know if maybe a storage unit would be, more acceptable if it was climate controlled. But if you're looking to put lawnmowers and things back in there after he moves out, I can see your reasoning. So for that, I don't think I have anything else.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead and have a seat. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the zoning board on this particular case? Okay. Okay, we will go into deliberations and we'll go back to the first case we heard, which is, was that the automotive? Or do I have these out of order? It was the automotive?
It was the first, then we went back.
Pardon? Yes, that's what I
Yes.
thought. We'd at least go back in order. Okay, so we're going to do deliberations on case SU-2026-025, and that would be auto repairs at 2337 Washington Road. After conducting a public hearing and considering the facts, the Zoning Board of Appeals makes the following findings of fact and recommendation. Will the establishment, maintenance, and operation of the proposed special use permit be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare?
No.
Will the proposed special use permit be injurious to the use or permitted to the use or other permitted uses in the district?
No.
No.
Will the proposed special use permit diminish or impair property values within the surrounding neighborhood?
No.
No.
Will the establishment of the proposed special use permit impede the orderly development or improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the subject zoning district?
No.
No.
R, have adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, or other necessary facilities to be or been provided?
Yes.
Yes.
R, have adequate measures to be or been taken to provide ingress and egress from the site, minimizing traffic congestion and hazards on public streets?
Yes.
Yes.
Will the proposed special use permit conform to all other applicable regulations of the zoning district?
Yes.
Okay, do I have discussion, concerns, or a motion?
Yeah, I just wanted to make one comment that as part of a motion to approve, I think we should consider some language as a condition to restrict on-street parking for employees. I think it'll be challenged to restrict on-street parking for customers, but we want to make sure that they have appropriate off-street parking for their employees, so that they're not congesting Briargate on a consistent basis. It was a thought that I had after the discussion had already taken place with the petitioner.
No, good point.
I would also recommend, I think, as we discussed, that the special use for the dealership had landscaping requirements. If this is done first, then we do a similar, asking for a landscape plan to be submitted and reviewed by staff.
All right, so have an approved landscaping plan with the city prior to operation of the service shop? Okay.
I think somebody's
I
about
would-
to make a motion.
I would throw one more in there. When it comes to off-street parking, I think the minimum on the lot that we talked about was 45, or maximum was 45 spots. So if you can throw in the employee parking if you want, but I think you need to make sure that that's the maximum that can be allowed at any one time is 45
Period.
on the lot itself.
45 vehicles
Correct.
parked on the lot at any given time?
Correct.
Good points.
Any other comments before I make a motion?
Go for it.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve case SU-2026-025 with the following conditions: that on-street parking be restricted for employees, that we have an approved landscaping plan with the city before the service shop operation is allowed to commence, and that the vehicle parking plan be limited to no more than 45 vehicles at any time.
I'd second.
So Tim and Joel. Okay. Roll call vote?
Driscoll,
Yes?
Whitman,
Yes.
Sams,
Yes.
Reeker,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
All voting in favor. So that'll go to city council here next Tuesday.
You don't have to stick around if you don't want to, just so you know.
To you. Okay, next case is SU-2026-023. That is the petition of Beck Land for beekeeping at 201 North Norwood Place. After conducting a public hearing and considering the facts, the Zoning Board of Appeals makes the following findings of fact and recommendation. Will the establishment, maintenance, and operation of the proposed special use permit be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare?
No.
No.
Will the proposed special use permit be injurious to the use or permitted in the district?
No.
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 Will the proposed special use permit diminish or impair property values within the surrounding neighborhood?
No.
No.
Will the establishment of the proposed special use permit impede the orderly development or improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the subject zoning district?
No.
No.
Or have adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, or other necessary facilities to be or been provided?
Yes.
Yes.
Or have adequate measures to be or been taken to provide ingress and egress from the site, minimizing traffic congestion and hazards on public streets.
Doesn't
Yes.
apply.
Will the proposed special use permit conform to all other applicable regulations of the zoning district?
Yes.
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 Discussion, or do I have a motion?
I wanted to comment, I would commend the petitioner. I did speak with some officials at the East Side Center that were aware of this and were in support of this. And so I believe the petitioner did do their due diligence on talking to the neighbors and ensuring that this wouldn't be an issue. So if there's any other comments, I would petition to approve as is.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call vote.
Driscoll.
Yes?
Whitman.
Yes.
Sams.
Yes.
Reeker.
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
All voting in favor.
Moving on to R 2026-006, that would be the petition of Brian Anderson to zone currently an R2 one-family dwelling at the corner of Pinecrest and Cimarron to a B2 business district / general retail. After conducting a public hearing and considering the facts, the Zoning Board of Appeals makes the following findings of fact and recommendation. Will the proposed rezoning conform with existing uses of property in the surrounding area?
No.
Yes.
Will the proposed rezoning conform with the existing zoning of property in the surrounding area?
Yes.
Is the property suitable to the uses permitted under the proposed zoning classifications?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does the lot possess one of the following: 200 feet of frontage, 25,000 square feet of area, or adjoin a lot with the same zoning classification?
Yes.
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 Will the proposed rezoning be injurious to surrounding property or improvements?
No.
No.
Discussion? Motion?
Yeah, I would just comment that I would not be for this rezoning. I think the idea of the business is fine, but when looking at the rezoning to general retail, that does possess quite a few different retail outlets that I do not believe would be appropriate for that area, as well as are not around that area. So the other businesses in the area are not considered retail. So I would not be for this.
How close do you consider retail? Because we had the pool shop that was up there, and it may still be a pool shop.
Yeah, the pool shop does not have any residential around it.
Fair
So
enough.
This is completely surrounded by residential outside of the street.
Fair enough, with the exception of what's across the street where you have
Correct.
some other commercial properties.
Correct.
Fair enough.
Which is a 5-lane road.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I think I'm of the same mind. I'm not opposed to rezoning it as a business, provided that we understand what the business is. To leave an open book, as George called it, excuse me. I know we've seen plans and all that stuff, but that's not what we're voting on. We're voting on rezoning just the property itself. And at this time, without understanding all the uses and what the plans are for the property at this point, I will not support.
I mean, look, I read through the information that Ty sent, and Michael actually happens to have a copy of the permitted uses here. And looking at these permitted uses, many of them are very low impact, even in residential areas. And some of these we actually have on Washington Road in our zoning districts now that are completely surrounded by residential properties. Now, there may be a few of these that stand out. Like one specifically that I saw was packaged liquor store. I don't know that anybody would be particularly excited about that one, but again, we do have that in other areas of our community, like Springfield Road, for example, where we have New Twist completely surrounded by residential properties. So I'm just pointing out that this is not uncommon in our community, and I'm supporting that we move forward with this.
I think my overall concern on that point would be if we were to approve this and he builds the buildings that he has currently put on there, the parking that would be needed to transition that to a retail space would take up almost the entire property. And so I don't think it's a good idea.
I think that assuming he builds the property to suit, the current existing plan would really, I think, limit even further some of these applications that we see that are permitted in that type of zoning district. But I do understand your concern, Joel, and I think you live in that general area, so I respect your position.
Somebody can make a motion to deny.
I'll make a motion to deny the commissioner's, the petitioner's request to change the zoning.
Okay, do I have a second to deny?
I'd second that.
Okay. And we're going to do roll call vote, but that means if you vote yes, you're supporting the denial of the petition. Correct. Okay. Roll call vote.
Driscoll,
Yes.
Whitman,
Yes.
Sams,
Yes.
Reeker,
Yes.
Brashears,
Yes.
Brunner,
No.
Kelly.
No.
Okay, motion is denied. The petitioner will need to work with the city maybe on another possible route. Okay, next we have the case number SU-2026-027, and that is the petition for 500 Centennial Drive to be, or for a special use to permit multifamily R5 Senior Living Facilities District into multifamily. Okay. After conducting a public hearing and considering the facts, the Zoning Board of Appeals makes the following findings of fact and recommendation. Will the establishment, maintenance, and operation of the proposed special use permit be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare?
No.
No.
Will the proposed special use permit be injurious to the use or permitted in the district?
No.
Will the proposed special use permit diminish or impair property values within the surrounding neighborhood?
No.
No.
Will the establishment of the proposed special use permit impede the orderly development or improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the subject zoning district?
No.
Or have adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, or other necessary facilities to be been provided?
Yes.
Or have adequate measures to be been taken to provide ingress and egress from the site, minimizing traffic congestion and hazards on public streets?
Yes.
Will the proposed special use permit conform to all other applicable regulations of the zoning district?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody want to attempt a motion?
I'll make a motion on this one, but I
Can I
do want
Can
to
I
make
make a
sure.
couple? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Troy. I wanted to make a couple comments though before a motion.
Go
So
ahead.
if you're ready to move, then
No, go ahead.
Make
Okay.
your comments first, yeah.
I just wanted, just quick comments. We had a petition on the same property before, I think, for the exact same use. And we did, I think Michael and I mentioned, potential improvements. You're going to definitely have more pedestrians walking to and from this property to the college. So there's potential for the petitioner to also work with the city on sidewalk improvements and maybe improving access to and from the property and, crossing the street to the college. So I just wanted to throw those on the record just because, we did mention that to the last petitioner. So those would be positive improvements to not just the property, but also the community in general.
I would also add, just for more or less information, since this last petition had come before, there has been a purchase of the dorm area at ICC that will be redone. So I think it's important that we stick to the 1.5 vehicle per, or parking spots per unit, because that might have reduced the number of potential college dwellers at this location.
Troy?
So my motion is going to be to accept the petitioner's proposal with the condition that no more than 127 units be developed at this time until more adequate parking can be established. 127 is the limit for the 191 parking spots available.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Troy and Tim. Roll call vote.
Driscoll,
Yes.
Whitman,
Yes.
Sams,
Yes.
Reeker,
Yes.
Brochures,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Goes to council next Tuesday. Same room, 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
Anecdotally, we've seen, for example, like with Bluetown, the units that have multiple bedrooms leased up very quickly. So, I mean, we'll see how this plays out, whether that's a market trend or if that's just a one-off, but, you know, those are far and away the more expensive units. But we've seen with previous proposals for this property that if there's an opportunity to combine units together, that, you know, that certainly cuts down on that demand for parking.
True.
But
Sure.
we'll see, yeah. But anecdotally, these went very quickly over here. The corner units went the fastest.
And honestly, that's why I went with units instead of parking spaces.
Yeah.
So,
Good job, Troy. Okay. Case SU-2026-028, and that would be the petition of the Crumleys for a third accessory structure at 1007 Springfield Road. Will the establishment, maintenance, and operation of the proposed special use permit be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare?
No.
Will the proposed special use permit be injurious to the use or permitted in the district?
no.
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 Will the proposed special use permit diminish or impair property values within the surrounding neighborhood?
No.
No.
Will the establishment of the proposed special use permit impede the orderly development or improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the subject zoning district?
No.
R, have adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, or other necessary facilities to be or been provided?
Yes.
R, have adequate measures to be or been taken to provide ingress and egress from the site, minimizing traffic congestion and hazards on public streets?
Doesn't apply.
Will the proposed special use permit conform to all other applicable regulations of the zoning district?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have any discussion or roll call vote?
I'll make a motion
I
that
mean,
we
a
have.
motion. Sorry, a little ahead of
Who's-
myself.
Who's moving?
Motion?
I was going to make a motion to
Yes.
approve this with the condition that they adhere to the setback requirements outlined by the city code.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tim and Troy. Roll call vote.
Driscoll,
Yes?
Whitman,
Yes.
Sams.
Yes.
Reeker,
Yes.
Brochures,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
All voting in favor.
Okay.
So as with the others, that will go before the city council next Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. You don't have to be here. Sometimes it's not a bad idea. We didn't hear from anybody tonight. So your call, but it goes through for 2 meetings and then it'll be approved.
And then I'll get like a notification on the Peoria access or an email or something.
You should, but check back. We'll keep you posted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that completes deliberations. Do we have any old business? Do we have any new business? Do we have any citizens who wish to take this opportunity to address the Zoning Board of Appeals on a non-agenda item? Seeing no one. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, George. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, this meeting comes to a conclusion. We are adjourned. Thank you.